how many of you have started preparing for GRE? Okay, anybody here who has started? Okay, so do all of you see a poll in front of your screens? Yeah? Alright, Badre says started since last month, not as started says Kinjal, not as started says Vinay, almost completed says Nirmit, superb. Submitted says Satvik, okay, just started says Karan, just started says Saurabh, just started says Mayank. Alright. For 2 weeks, Mohammed, say, just started says Aditya. Alright. Okay, so I'll close this poll. And have any one of you already decided when you want to take your GRE? How many months away are you from your GRE? October or November says Shubham. Okay. Anybody else? June says Robin. August, September says Shirali. November, June. Most probably first week of June. In less than a month. By the end of this year, July or August. I'm very sorry I'm not able to read all the names. A lot of you guys here. Okay. Nevertheless, but whatever doubt you ask, we'll make sure that all of them are answered. All right. Thank you guys for participating. Okay. So how many of you guys like participating in in contests? How many of you like answering questions? Yeah. Everybody? Okay, so let's start with this very simple question. Okay, now try to solve x and y. Okay, now I'll give you a small hint. Okay, 800 is the max score in the earlier GRE format, and 170 is the highest score in the new GRE format or the current GRE format. Okay, so can you guess what do x and y mean? Okay, how many of you are trying? Okay, Satvik says 480, Nirmit says x is 48. Okay, Shubham says x and y may be the number of participants. Exactly right, Shubham. Okay, Raghavendra says the question is slightly confusing, didn't get it. Alright, anyways, I will give a hand to Shubham who got the answer first. Okay, so alright, it's slightly confusing. Balchandra also got the answer. X and Y are the number of people who took the GRE. Right. So what it means is, of the number of guys who took GRE earlier, 6% of them got 800. 800 out of 800. Okay. And the number of people who are taking GRE currently, okay, about 2% of them are able to get 170 out of 170 in GRE Quant. Okay. So what does that mean? Is GRE becoming simpler or is GRE becoming more complex? Tougher. Right. Okay. But are you guys ready to get 170? How many of you want to get 170? Aditya, Suraj, Shriyam, Manjunath, Subodh, Karthik. Alright. So what does it take to get 170? Any idea? Dedication, practice, more and more practice, hard work, speed, concentration, preparation, smart study, clear basics, logic. Teachers say I'm good in quant, says Aditya. Very good. Good questions. GREedge help, says Arvaz. Luck, says Anchit. Alright, lot of answers and all of them are right. Okay. Now, according to me, okay, the most important thing, okay, apart from whatever all you said, is visualization. Okay. So what is visualization? What is visualization? Visualization of a quant problem. What does that mean? Imagining, says Sriram. analyzing the problem correctly, studying the problem, interpret, okay, vision of your goal, mental picture, calculating in mind, guessing the answer by just looking at it, right, okay. So you're understanding the question, visualizing the question, okay, breaking it up, okay, understanding the question conceptually is visualization, okay. Now, do you want to try a few questions and understand what do you actually mean by visualization? Shall we try solving a few questions? Alright, so all of you have a pen and paper with you? Okay, you can get a pen and paper, okay, but mostly I just want to see if you are able to approach the question or not, alright. So let's try the first one. Okay, so can you see the question on your screen? What is the area of the regular hexagon ABCDEF inscribed in the circle of circumference 8 pi? Okay, so there's a small mistake there. It says ABSDEF. It is ABCDEF. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, how many of you are trying the question? Soumya says 24 root 3, alright. Harshita says 48. Mayank is trying. Mohammed says 24. Nitin says 24 root 2. 24 root 3 says Balachandar. 24 root 3 says Raghavendra. Sairam says 25. 24 root 3 says Nikhil. Akash says 24 root 3. Okay. Arvaz says 24 root 3. Okay then, shall we stop this? Okay, so what is the right answer? (24 root 3). Right, and the first person to get it right was Soumya. A big round of applause for Soumya. Okay, and a round of applause for all of you who participated. Okay, good one. Okay, now how many of you were able to solve the question? It's okay if you didn't get the answer, but how many of you understood how to solve this question? Okay, Subodh, Nikhil, Aditya, Arvaz, Suraj, Harshita. Alright, okay, how many of you were not able to solve this? Okay, Richa, Sairam, Abhinav. Alright, so what stopped you from solving it? Didn't you know the formula, or were you not able to visualize it? Okay, formula, say Supreet, concept, formula. Alright. Now let's have a look at how to solve this question. Anybody here wants to tell how do you start solving this? Calculate radius, calculate the area of triangle, and then multiply by 8, say Shakil, right? Okay. You multiply by 8 or multiply by 6? Okay. Now how do you find out the area of the triangle? From the circumference? Right, so you have the circumference. So from the circumference you can find out the radius. Am I right? Right? So you have 2 pi r is equal to 8 pi. From that you can find out r. Correct? And this is an equilateral triangle. AOB is an equilateral triangle. Am I right? Okay. So what is the area of an equilateral triangle? What is the formula? Root 3 by 4 side square. Exactly right. Okay. And you multiply that by 6, you will have your answer. Correct? So I'll share the solution with you guys. So is this question easy or difficult? Easy? Too easy? Alright. So you want to try one more? Lollipop question says Arvaz. Okay. So we'll try one more question. Okay. So find out the area of the shaded region. If PQRS is a cyclic quadrilateral within a circle of center O, radius R, and ST is the height, what is the area of the shaded region? How many of you are trying this? Okay, Akash is trying, Karan is trying, Abhinav is trying, Tripti is trying, Suprit is trying, okay. Aditya is trying, Rashmita is trying. Okay, Soumya is the answer. Satvik says need more values, okay. With the values given, you will be able to solve it. Please try. Subodh has the answer. Okay, I'll read out the answers that have come in till now. Pi r square minus 2rs is Soumya. Pi r square minus r into h minus r square is Subodh. Pi r square minus 2rs is Nitin. Pi r square minus dh is Tripti. RH plus r squared says Harshita. Pi r square minus rh is Gopi Krishna. RH plus r square says Balachandra. Okay, Gopi Krishna makes a correction, says minus r square. Tripti says pi r square minus 2rh. Okay, Raghavendra says very time consuming. Okay, fine. Pi r square minus rh plus r square says Balachandra. Okay, pi r square minus rh minus r squared says Harshita. Alright. Okay, I'll tell you what the right answer is. Okay, the right answer is pi r square minus rh minus r square. Okay, the Karan says hash easy. So, Karan, did you get the answer right? Pi r square minus rh minus r square. Satvik says easy again. Suraj says got it. Okay. Arvaz says formula based. Okay. How many of you were not able to get it? Okay, Nitin, Jay Prakash. Okay, Balachandra says easy, but calculate the quadrilateral triangle at first. Okay, how did you find out the area of the quadrilateral? Supreet got it, Mayank got it, Saurabh got it, Krishna got it. Subodh says, of course easy, but time is a factor. What matters is how fast we solve it. Right, Subodh? Area of the quadrilateral is area of the sum of the triangles. Soumya says silly mistake. Fine. Let us not consider how much time you are taking and whether you're committing silly mistakes. Okay. Because as we practice more, we will we'll be doing less of silly mistakes and we'll have more speed. Okay. But do we understand how to solve the question? That is what is important at this point of time. Right? Okay. So how many of you were not able to solve it because you didn't know the formula? Anybody here? Okay, some of you, Richa Gupta, Akash. Okay, anybody here who knew the formula but were not able to solve it? Okay, Ahmed, Abhinav. Right. So how do you solve this? What is the approach? Anybody here wants to share? Okay, not yet started, so don't know the formulas. All right, no problem. So we know where we are lacking, right? So it's okay. Area of the circle minus area of the triangles. Correct. Okay. So how do you find out the area of the circle? What is the formula? Pi r square. Right? Okay. Now how do you find out the area of the triangles? Let us consider the first triangle, SPR. Okay. So let us consider this triangle. How do you find out the area of this triangle, SPR? What is the formula that you will use? Half base into height. Exactly right. Okay. So you have this is already given. ST is height. Correct. Okay. So what is the base? 2 times the radius. Right. So you can find out area of SPR. Correct? Okay. Now let us consider the next triangle. Okay. PQR. Okay. So this triangle, how do you find out the area? What is the formula? It's an equilateral triangle. No, it's not an equilateral triangle. It's the isosceles triangle. Correct. So how do you find out it's the isosceles triangle? It is marked. 2 sides are equal. Right, Subodh and Harsh? Right. Which 2 sides are equal? So you know this side, you have these 2 marks here. Right. That means those 2 sides are equal and it's isosceles triangle. Okay. So what is the property of the isosceles triangle? So in an isosceles triangle, okay, the height, okay, and the bisector, okay, are the same. So it's a perpendicular bisector. So if you draw a line OQ, right, if you draw a line OQ, this will divide PR into 2 halves, okay, and this will be 90 degrees. Right? Am I right? Okay, so from this, can you find out area of this triangle? Using the same formula, half base into height. Okay, that is half RH, and you have another one here that is also half RH. Okay, you add both of them, you will get RH. Okay, and you have to find out the area of the shaded region, which is pi r square minus first triangle minus second triangle. That is your answer here. Pi r square that is the area of the circle, minus RH, area of the lower circle, PQR, minus R square, area of the upper circle, that is SPR, right? So will everybody be able to solve this question next time? Alright, very good. Okay, Venkata Sudeep has a question. How did you get R square? Okay, you have, sorry, how did you get RH? So you have half RH plus half RH is RH. Okay. So shall we try one more? Namrata says fine. Okay, sorry, Namrata says how did you get R square? Okay, I'll just solve it once again for more clarity. Okay, now this is an isosceles triangle, right? This is an isosceles triangle, correct? Okay, so in an isosceles triangle, okay, the height, okay, is the perpendicular bisector. Am I right? Okay. Now, if you consider this triangle, okay, in this case, is this what is the length of this? Radius R, right? What is the length of this? OQ R, right? So what is the formula for when you know the base and height? Half base into height, correct? So that is 1 by 2 R into R, correct? Right? So same is the case with the next triangle, which is also half base into height, R into R, half R into R. Okay, I hope this is clear now. All right, we'll move on to the next question. Okay, let me see who gets this. Who gets it first this time? All right. So in the given figure, what is the measure of the angle PSQ? $30. Subodh says 30, Soumya says 30, Karan says 30, Nikhil says 45. Subodh wants to make a correction, okay? Here says 30, Sushant says 30, Ikra says 30, Suraj says 30, Karthik says 30, Raghavendra says 30, 47.5 says Ahmad, Aditya says 47.5, Ashwini says 30, Aditya says 30, Jay Prakash, Nikhil, Subodh has made his correction, says 65 now. Venkata Sudeep says 30, Balchandra says 30, 660 says Shashank. Okay, he makes a correction, says 60. 47.5 says Gautam. Abhinav says alternate angles 30. Shashank makes a correction, says 65. Now I see a lot of 65. Sagar says 65. Niharika says 65. Kinjal says 65. Kinjal says 65. Sagar says 65. Vinay says 65. Aditya says 65. Kalyan says 65. Govind says 65. Sorry, Govind says 55. Rita says 65. Vishal says 65. Okay, a round of applause to everyone who said 65. Okay, so the answer is 65. How many of you got it wrong? Be very honest. Okay, no problem. Looked very easy. Me at first, then corrected myself. There says Aditya, very good. In the first attempt says Vishal. Right? So everybody was tempted to answer it so fast. Right? Okay, how 65 say, asked Rashmita. Okay, so shall we try solving this question? Okay, now if this angle is 85, what is the measure of this angle? 85? Right. Okay, now if this angle is 85, can you find out the measure of this angle? Right? How can you find out? Some of the angles in a triangle. Okay. Now what I am saying is this angle and this angle are the same. Do you know why? Okay. So the property says, okay, if you draw, angles, okay, from a chord or from an arc, okay, on the same side of the circle, okay, like you're drawing this, you consider PQ as the chord, okay, and you're drawing multiple angles like this on the same side of the circle. Okay, now you can draw countless angles like that, right? Okay, now all these angles will be the same. Suraj says, oh yeah. Got it. It was so simple, says Sushant. Jayaprakash says, got it. Okay, so everybody got it? Okay, didn't get it, explain it once again. Alright, we'll do this once again. Okay, now if this angle is 85, what is this angle? Arva says property should be known for this, right? Okay, 85, okay. Now you can also find out this angle. 65, okay. Now if you take this chord, okay, and you see these two angles are subtended by the same chord, okay, they will be of the same size, okay. You can draw as many angles like this, okay, all of them will be the same as long as you draw it on the same side, okay. The moment you draw an angle on the opposite side, they will be different from this angle, okay. These two will not be same. Okay, so that's how you got this is equal to 65 degrees. Okay, anybody has a doubt? Bhartesh has a doubt? Yes, please, go ahead, Bhartesh. Sorry, Bhadresh. I'm very sorry. Why can't it be 30? Okay, so tell me, when will this angle be 30? Okay, Under what circumstances can this angle be 30? When PS and QR are parallel, right? But is it given that they are parallel? No, right? But everybody assumed that they are parallel and jumped into conclusions, right? Okay, so shall we try one more? Yes. Do you want to solve more questions, or shall we get down to the fundamentals of how you should prepare? More questions? Fundamentals? More questions? Fundamentals? Okay, there seems to be an equal divide. Okay, so we'll just take up one last question. Okay, and then we'll approach how you should prepare for your quant. Okay. Okay. So ratio of the radius of the circumsphere to the radius of the insphere of a cube. Okay, that's column A, and column B is 1.5. Okay. So tell me, if column A is greater than column B is greater than column A is same as column B, or it cannot be determined. Soumya and Sushant are quick to conclude that it cannot be determined. But I am telling you it can be determined. Okay. What I want you to do here is tell me the value of column A. What is the ratio of the radius of the circumsphere to the radius of the insphere of a cube? What is that ratio? Satvik says value is 2. Sushant says 1:1. Square root 2 says Gautam. Root 3 says Balachandra. Satvik says 2. Saurabh says 3. Kinjal says 1. Root 3 is to root 2 says Harshita. Says Jayaprakash. Aditya says 1. Karthik says 2. Stuck with the formula says Raghavendra. Root 2 says Suraj. Answer is A says Balachandra. Kaushik says 2. Soumya says 1:1. 1.5 says Pradeep. Root 2 says Nitin. Root 3 says Nitin. Okay, Nitin makes a correction. Definitely not 1 says Arvaz. Okay, so what is the answer? Right, the answer is A. Okay, column A is greater than column B. But what is the value of column A? Okay, somebody got the answer right. Okay, the answer is root 3. Right, Balachandra. Right, big round of applause to Balachandra. Okay, so how many of you, were able to solve this question? How many of you knew what to do? Okay, Abhinav knew. Okay, Nikhil says I knew but couldn't solve. Knew but time taking says Arvaz. Aditya says I knew. Okay. Baby Sushmam says I knew. Okay, Nirmit says can you please ask questions other than geometry? Miscalculated says Gautam. I knew the formula says Badresh. Got confused, took the diagonal as the diameter in the insphere. Okay. So quickly, looking at the explanation. Okay. So that's what your circumsphere looks like, and that's what your insphere looks like. Okay. Now, the diameter of the circumsphere of a cube is the length of the diagonal of the cube. Do you agree with me? The diameter of the circumsphere, right, is the length of the diagonal, right? Okay. So what is the length of the diagonal of a cube? If each side is a, what is the length of the diagonal? Root 3a. Okay. And in case of the insphere, okay, the diameter of the insphere is equal to side of the cube, right? Which is a, right? Now you have to find out the ratio of the radii, okay? So which is root 3 is to 1, right? Correct? So you'll be able to do this next time? Yes? Okay, Soumya, I'll explain it once again. Okay, so you have the diameter of the circumsphere. Look at the figure on the left hand side, okay, which says circumsphere. Okay, so the diameter of the circumsphere, okay, is equal to the length of the diagonal of the cube, right? Okay, now if you draw a diagonal like this, okay, the diameter and the diagonal of the cube are the same, right? Correct? Okay, now in case of the insphere, now you draw a diameter like this, okay, it is equal to the side of the cube, right? Okay, so from this can you find out? Yes? Alright then. Okay, a round of applause for all of you for trying these questions. Okay? Okay, we'll move on to look at the fundamentals. Okay, what will actually help us get 170 in GRE Quant? Okay, it doesn't matter if you're not able to solve these questions. Okay, it doesn't matter if you took a lot of time. It doesn't matter if you did a lot of silly mistakes. Okay, but if you listen and if you understand the tips of how to score 170 in Quant and you act on them, okay, I know definitely each one of you will be able to get 170. Okay, so from this exercise that we did, what did you understand? Okay, we solved some 4 questions. Okay, a lot of them you are able to solve, some of them you are not able to solve. Okay, so what did you understand about yourself? What did you understand about the questions? Okay, Sai Ram says geometry is tough. Anything other than that? Okay, I make silly mistakes, says Suraj. Questions are easy, says Subodh. Should pace yourself well, should not hurry, says Nitin. Basic maths is required. Need to be patient. I should work hard. Lot of practice will help. Concentration and clarity is needed. Need to practice more. Difficult. Shouldn't answer without thinking. Should not panic. Need to practice more. If you practice more, we can get 170. Diagrams can be misleading. Time is a factor. Patience matters. Right. But what we started with, visualization. Do you think it is important? Now if you see all those 4 questions, okay, the formulas required to solve all of them were very simple. very basic formulas, right? Area of a triangle, area of a circle, okay, circumference of a circle, okay. The formulas are very simple. But what stopped you from getting the right answer? Visualization, right? Not being able to understand what the question is, right? Okay, and at times if you don't know the formulas, of course you cannot approach it, okay, but in case you know the formula, the next step would be to understand how to solve it, okay. So you need to develop intuition, okay, and formula based techniques and shortcuts can only take you thus far, okay. Now all of you want to score 170, am I right? Okay, now I'm telling you, if you try to use only formula based techniques and shortcuts, you may not be able to cross more than 160. Okay, so are you going to rely only on that, or are you going to develop some intuition? Okay, how many of you love maths? How many of you love maths? Raghavendra, Nikhil, Saurabh, Kaushik, Balchandra, Ashwini, Harshita, Ahmad. Good, the list is endless. Okay, now if you love maths, you are definitely at an advantage. Okay, soak yourself in maths. Okay, now every question that you come across, how many of you ask this question to yourself? Okay, what if this variable was different? What if this condition was not given? Okay, how many of you do that? Okay, Subodh does it, Harshita does it, Aditya, Karan, Shirali, Jay Prakash. Alright, good. Okay, now understand the concept, don't take the formula based approach. Okay, try to solve questions in different ways. How many of you enjoy doing that? Arvaz says sometimes, Abhinav says I like it, Akash, Suraj, okay, and appreciate shorter methods, okay, and try to understand why I couldn't think of it, okay, because when you're solving using shorter methods, okay, maybe you have to consider lesser equations, okay, right? Aditya says I rely on my own and short methods, right? Okay, what you can also do is compare your methods with your friends. How many of you have friends who are also preparing for GRE? Okay, Abhinav, Rashmita, Gautam, Akash, Kinjal has 4 friends. I do have a bunch, says Sriram. Alright. Okay, so you can compete against each other. Right? Okay. Now while you're competing against each other and while you're comparing yourself with others, okay, self-analysis is also very important. Okay. How many of you know what topics you're weak in? What are the topics I'm strong at? What is the maximum difficulty level of a question I can solve? Okay, how many of you know, in GRE, there are questions of 5 difficulty levels. Geometry weak, numbers strong, says Sagar. I don't know exactly. I know it says Akash. By giving a test, algebra is weak. Hearing it for the first time, says Aditya. Data interpretation is weak. Right, okay. Now, GR is the computer adaptive test. Okay, that means the level of difficulty of questions changes. Okay, so in Quant you will be coming across 2 sections. Okay, let's call it section 1 and section 2. Okay, now depending upon the performance in the first section, the second second section will become more difficult or more easy. Okay, now if the first section you have solved it very well, okay, you got majority of the answers right, okay, the second section will become even more difficult. Okay. Now while it becomes more difficult, you'll also be able to get a higher score in GRE. Okay. Now if you're not able to do the first section well, okay, what might happen is the next section will become easier. Okay. While it becomes easier, you'll be scoring less also. Okay. So in case you want to get 170 in quant, okay, you should be able to solve questions which are very, very difficult. Okay. Are you guys ready for that? Yes? Okay. Now you need to find out which topic you're weak in, okay, and what is the maximum difficulty level of question you can solve in each topic. Okay. If you want to get 170, you need to be able to solve level 5 questions in every topic. Okay, because you don't know which question of what level is going to hit you during your GRE. All right. Okay. Now, if you go to the exam, okay, and you come across a question that you've already done, okay, and you feel, oh, I've done this before, okay, how would that experience be during the exam? How many of you have felt that during your exams? Just before the exam, you're revising, okay? Or just before you're about to enter your exam hall, your friend shows you a question, says this is an important question, okay? And that comes in your GRE exam. How is that feeling? Subodh says happened during AIEEE. Arvaz says happened many times. Yeah, in JEE exam this happened. Very happy. Good. It would be awesome. Amazing. Right? Okay. Now just imagine this happens to you during your GRE exam 80% of the time. Oh, I've done this question before. Oh, I've done this question before. How will that be? Superb. How can you make sure that this happens to you? Any idea? How can you make sure it can happen to you? By solving a lot of questions? By doing a lot of practice? Practice, practice, practice. Right. Practicing a lot of questions. Right? Endless number of questions. And questions that can appear in your GRE. You cannot solve any sort of question. Okay? So there's something called as GRE style test. Okay? That's what you have to solve. And a lot of them. Okay? Now, while you're able to do that, okay, you should also keep in mind how to manage your time. Okay? So now you must have seen, the time you were taking for each question varied a lot. Okay, some questions you were able to do really fast. Some of them you were taking, countless amount of time. Okay, so you need to know when to skip a question and what is the maximum amount of time I can spend on a specific question. Okay, now how many of you do that? Okay, Subodh has a question. Okay, is there any negative marking in GRE? No, Subodh, there is no negative marking in GRE. Okay. Right. Okay. So there's also an option in GRE wherein you can mark a question. Okay. You can mark it and review it later. Okay. So you can come back to your question later on. Okay. So you can skip it. Okay. But don't miss a question, okay, because there is no negative marking. So at least attempt it and come. All right. No, Arvas, all topics are not of equal weightage. Okay, Amarpreet is saying, is quant like AIEEE? No, quant is not like AIEEE. Okay, there are few there are few topics which are not there in GRE quant. Okay, but definitely the skill required to crack GRE Quant is different. Okay, now GRE is testing you at a much higher level. Okay, whereas you are writing AIEEE, okay, you're just out of class 12 and you're trying to be eligible for an engineering seat. Okay, whereas when you're writing GRE, they are assuming that you have completed your graduation, mostly you're done your engineering, okay, and you're going to do your masters. Okay, in that case, the skills level that is required would be much higher. Okay, so pretty much the lot of topics which you come across in your 10th, 11th, 12th, okay, 8th, 9th, 10th, okay, they might be same, okay, but they would be at a different level. Okay, Arvaz is asking what is the difference between GRE and GMAT. Okay, now somebody writing GRE, okay, is going to do or become a research scholar, right? Okay, publish papers. Okay, but somebody who is going to write GMAT is going to become a manager. Okay, so the skill required for a scholar, okay, for a research person is different from somebody who is going to be a businessman and who is going to be a manager. Okay, so GMAT is testing you for MBA, and GRE is testing you for MS in US and also for MBA. Okay. Now we'll come back to how to score 170 in GRE Quant, how you should prepare. Okay. Now you are talking about how you should manage yourself during the exam. Okay. Now, how many of you love watching cricket? How many of you watch cricket? How many of you are watching IPL? No, there is no calculus. Raghavendra says he watches. Amarpreet, Balchandra, not so interested. I hate IPL. Everyone does, say Jayanti. Okay. Now let us suppose, okay, you have only 2 balls to go, okay, and you have to score 6 runs, and you miss the first ball. Whom do you wish to be on the crease? Dhoni, Yuvraj, Maxwell, MSD, Gale, Sachin, Virat, Chris Gale, UV, MSD, Srinivasan, Raina, Maxwell, Kohli, me, says Pradeep, Biru. Right. Okay, why am I asking this question? Why do you choose Dhoni? Why did you choose that player? What do you expect him to do? Stay calm, hit a 6, helicopter shot, scores high scores, hit 6, right? You expect him to stay calm, right? Which you don't expect from everybody else. You know he can stay calm, he can stay cool, and swing his bat really hard, right? That's exactly what you should do during your GRE also. Okay? Stay calm and approach every question with the same intensity. Okay? Irrespective of how your previous question went, irrespective of how the previous section went, you have to stay calm, you have to stay focused, okay, and do your GRE well. Okay? Go to the exam only to score high. Okay? Don't get into a competitive mode. Okay? Each one of us is very, very different. Okay, don't compare yourself. Okay, just go there, do well in your GRE. Okay, and just play like how you said that player should. Okay, during the cricket match, stay calm and hit a 6. Right? Okay, now a lot of students who are prepared with GREedge, okay, a lot of them have scored a perfect 170. Okay, now this is a very, very rare score. Okay, like we discussed earlier, only about 2% of the GRE test takers are able to get 170 in GRE Quant. Okay, so we asked them, okay, how is that they were able to get 170? Okay, and these are the tips that they shared with us. Okay, now they said solve questions of higher difficulty level. Okay, so that the actual exam looks very easy. What do you think about that tip? Solve questions of higher difficulty so that the actual exam looks very easy. Okay, now one more tip. Okay, solve questions which are slightly longer. Okay, this will leave you with extra time during your GRE. Okay, solve questions which are longer so that you have more time during your GRE. Okay, and due to the adaptive nature of the test, you need to be able to solve higher difficulty level questions from all topics. Okay, this is something we discussed earlier. Okay, you need to be able to solve questions of high difficulty levels in every topic. Okay, now you can't say this topic I will leave and go. Okay, this topic I don't like, I leave it to chance. Okay, so you can't do that in case you want to get 170. Okay, because you don't know which question will hit you and where you might just miss from getting 170. Okay, and a lot of students may actually tell you that GRE Quant was very easy. Okay, now you have to check their score. Okay, if they have got a low score and they said GRE Quant questions were very easy, it's most likely because of the adaptive nature that we discussed. Okay, you do the first section wrong and the second section will become very easy. Okay, and these test takers may not have got exposed to the higher level questions of high difficulty level. Okay, because of that. Okay, so we'll just summarize what you need to do. Okay, in order to get 170 in GRE Quant, how you need to prepare. Okay, you need to learn conceptually. Okay, you need to be well versed in all the topics. Okay, you should be able to solve higher difficulty questions in all the topics. Okay, you need to practice a wide variety of questions. Okay, and this will help you get that feeling. Oh, I have done this before. Okay, you need to love maths. Okay, develop intuition. Okay, complete your GRE preparation about 3-4 weeks before your actual GRE. Okay, now at this point of time you should do GRE style tests. Okay, and stay calm during the exam. Okay, go out there, hit hard. Okay, and do well. Okay, now before you get there, okay, I will I'll give the mic to my colleague Ashish. Okay, a lot of you would be curious to know, okay, what is that GREedge is going to offer me? Okay, how is that all those students who prepared with GREedge, a lot of them got 170. Okay, now that is something Ashish would like to share with all of you. Thank you guys. I'll over to Ashish now.
Thank you, Samarth. Hey guys, so how was the seminar till today, till now? Okay, Rashmita says helpful, Soumya, good seminar, rocking. Okay, okay, great. So guys, I would like to say a few things about GREedge and the training process and how we help you to get a perfect 170. Okay, so once you enroll with us, we'll give you an orientation call. We'll assign a couple of personal trainers, one for your verbal, one for your quant, and they'll give you an orientation call, and you'll have to take a verbal and quant diagnostic test wherein we'll evaluate how good you are in both the sections and what kind of preparation level you are in and what kind of preparation you need from our side. Then based on your weaker areas, focusing on your weaker areas, we'll give you a personalized study plan, we'll give you learning lessons, we'll give you session with a surprise test, and after each session, so that you are able to conceptualize everything you study in those learning sessions. Then you'll have some features within your application where you can see the doubts asked by other aspirants, other GRE aspirants. Our millisecond monitoring and personalized feedback will help you guide throughout your GRE preparation and see how you are doing with others. Then you'll have revised GRE style test, that is adaptive style GRE test, so that you are ahead of the competition. And as you can see on the left of the slide, that GREedge programs will include a personal coach, as I told you, and extensive study material from our side, a student welfare group where you can post your queries, you can ask your doubts and queries. There will be a Facebook group where you can interact and you can chat with other fellow members of your same program. Then you'll have academic seminars like today. You'll have verbal, quant, and other kind of seminars. You'll have vocabulary apps. There are many vocabulary apps by GREedge where you can improve your words, you improve your word meanings and sentence formations. Then you have guest seminars which will be given by other students who have scored very well with us. Then we'll remind you of important dates, important GRE dates and other things. We'll have a progress report app where you can see how you stand in front of your competitors and other things. So guys, I'll take you to a few of the test takers who have prepared with us, who have scored very good marks in quant as well as verbal. So you can see on your screen Chaitanya Date, who scored 324. He is from BITS Pilani Goa campus, and you can see that how he thanked GREedge. And you can see he is telling about Ask a Doubt feature. Let me explain you to that. Ask a Doubt feature in GRE is a feature where you can see all the posted doubts from a particular topic by a particular student, so that you need not wait for a personal trainer to solve that doubt for you. You can go through the doubts, and in case you don't have that doubt in that list, you can ask a personal trainer. Then you have Pratyush Havelia, and he also scored 330. He's from IIT Roorkee. I'm sure many of you will be from IIT and other good colleges, so you can take the inspiration from him, and you can start preparing with GREedge very soon.
In case you want to contact us, okay, you can visit us on www.greedge.com, okay, or you can also mail us at info@greedge.com, okay, and or you can call us at 988-44-53276, okay. So what you can also do is quickly take a screenshot of this, okay, in case you don't have time to note it down, okay. Thank you so much for coming. I had a really good time, a very, very interactive session, okay. Have a good night. Happy learning with GREedge.